we are here. Welcome to the Walkout here in Corona, California of 2026. Welcome back to another episode of Research Yourself Before You Discourse Yourself, where this time, if anybody had like an excuse to get out from work, walk out from school, or any kind of event that we just decided to walk out on ourselves, we're just here to peacefully protest in all things glory that we have the whole distaste of what Donald Trump and his administration in the White House is doing to our country. Just to share a few things, this little card represents any person who has like a business. If any federal agent is trying to approach some sort of like unlawful searches, this card that's in English and Spanish is worth having in case like any person has any given right to like live a normal life. And especially like with what the Trump's ICE is doing to us, we rather make sure that we protect every person here in Corona as if our own likes to protect us. Instead of like your typical 10 to 2, this is actually a 2 to 5 regular protest, since even though like MLK had already passed, like I fear that the people who are going to misquote MLK, and especially on the conservative side, is actually not going to be like the most quote-unquote conservative person who thinks they understand Martin Luther King Jr., who had his advocacy for like human rights, versus Charlie Kirk. Otherwise, he's not like the greatest guy for him to reach his own day, because MLK already has a special day. Charlie Kirk does not. One of the truck drivers is actually shaking his head in disbelief, because I don't think they realize that Donald Trump, the second term in his office, is actually doing chaotic work in the United States of America with his cronies in the White House, and any complicit and complacent Republicans in Congress as well as the Senate are not doing anything to oppose Donald Trump, except for like maybe a few things, like Marjorie Greene is now out of Congress. California Representative Doug LaMalfa has passed away at 65, so that gives open seat opportunity for like any candidate to take over the seat. Coming this year, there will be elections. As you know, Proposition 50 have passed, and now Corona instead now has a different number to be under. Instead of California 41, we are now California 40. There are two GOP candidates that are going to contend with the district. We have Ken Calvert and Young Kim, who unfortunately did not even bother to help with the LA wildfires last year. Both of them are now appeasing to the dictating side of what the White House is doing, especially what Stephen Miller is trying to like terrorize any kind of community with ICE, especially here in Corona. We're getting a few kidnappings, especially that unfortunate event that happened on Christmas Day with that innocent family being separated, being taken away. Here in Corona, California, we have 5 years to get used to this temporary drawn district before 2030 ends. By 2031, the drawing maps will be resetted back to where they would be. One action item that we can take care of is to eliminate Ken Calvert and Young Kim at the same time. What we need to do is vote for a Democratic candidate who has studied the horrifying actions that the White House has taken. One of the better candidates that I would personally vote for is Esther Varet. Keep this endorsement in mind that I have, for you may have a different opinion about it, but if you think that you have a better candidate in mind, leave a comment in the description below. The second thing to keep aware of is the primary election, where we vote for governor. Governor Gavin Newsom will term out this year, and now we have to be fully aware of what type of candidacy we are up against. There are two Republican candidates that are vying for control of governor. We have Chad Bianco, which is one of the most incompetent candidates to run for governor, who is also an oath keeper, as well as Stephen Hilton, another Fox News piece, who has like a poll running that is slightly leading Katie Porter up to like at least a small percentage or a margin of error. Katie Porter seems to be the best candidate thus far, because she understands being a single mom who values unions, values education, and is also a lawyer, and is a former freshman congressperson who she has fought against the Trump administration on the first term, who has called out a billionaire to not even solve a shortfall of a employee's budget. To pass down the torch, Gavin Newsom needs to meet this new governor to be elected. And now here we are waiting for like any possible propositions that may occur on 2026 this year. Since I work at a grocery store, all I have to think about is like paper bags. That's the only small thing I have to worry about. It's not a Newsom thing, it's the Senate bill that passed in our sleep that every grocery retailer or like any retail store that you come across in your normal everyday life, that you may notice that there are plastic bags missing this year because of this new law. So if anybody out there who tends to forget their bags for some reason, just bring your own or whatever you have. Even a trash bag would work to get your groceries in. And especially if you keep forgetting so many times, you don't have to get charged 10 cents a bag every damn time that you walk into the grocery store. This whistle is my whistleblower for any ICE vehicles or marked as hidden ICE vehicles that may occur in the corner, for those small businesses being hit by ICE and any other federal agency that may invade immigrant workers here in Corona, California. The only kind of police activity that this event has thus far is that there were a couple of police vehicles. They're just watching us obeying the law, and it doesn't seem like we're getting in the road, and technically us pedestrians have the right of way on the sidewalk. Trump's government will fall and crumble, and there has to be a way to repair the damage that like the dictatorship has caused.
I think the biggest issue that I have is that Trump is unstoppable and Congress isn't stepping in.
What side of Congress though?
The Republicans are.
Yes, the Republican
They're
side.
kowtowing to whatever he wants because they're afraid to lose that 30% of their base. They're not there to help the government.
Right, but the Democrats aren't being strong enough either.
Though that may well be, sure, we can call the Democrats weak, they're not doing good enough. That's because like the Republicans are just that fucking lazy enough to make sure they can give them all the fucking stress they don't necessarily need to serve us. Yeah, that's one thing about the Republican Party, especially that the two people that are contending with this current district for 5 years, Ken Calvert, Young Kim, they haven't done anything to help prevent the LA wildfires last year.
No, not a thing.
Yeah, so
They just pass anything that Trump wants. They do anything that Trump wants because they want his voters. But they don't understand that there's a lot more voters out there than just that small amount. But we've got to get people off the couches and we've got to get them in the voting booths. Especially the youth. That's my biggest complaint. The youth
Congress
is not
is
getting
just
out there.
protecting themselves. They want the power and the money. Look at the money that they've made since they've been in that position. Millions. Why should they give that up?
no one in Congress is able to make that much money, and especially like shouldn't that money go towards the will of the American people anyway? Like the big beautiful bill, no one deserves to like transfer our wealth to the ICE.
1%. Yeah, into the ICE, right. We lost Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits, all because it was funneled into the ICE, which you're giving them $50,000 to pull people out of cars, and you don't even ask them if they know the 4th or the 5th Amendment. They get less training than a hairdresser gets.
To those ICE assholes out there, you realize you're getting paid $10,000 a year every year for these 5 years coming just to harass the people in the community. It doesn't matter if it's like an immigrant or a U.S. citizen, unfortunately.
It is.
Doesn't matter now.
They just arrested an ex-military guy who was in uniform, who was standing on the sidewalk because they didn't think he backed up fast enough and threw him to the ground. Held him for 8 hours without letting anybody know where he was, which meant he could have been AWOL from his unit, but they didn't care.
The only thing we can do as normal, everyday American people is to touch them with like a taste of their own medicine. Like we can throw water at
I
them.
think so. Spray them in the face.
Like in Minnesota, like they were actually throwing like
Water balloons.
and
They were ice
fun sprays.
Yeah, bear spray.
just to get a January 6er out of a hate rally called Jake Lang, who got outnumbered by normal Minnesotans.
Yes.
Who has been taunting the death of Renee Nicole Good, who never deserved the death.
No,
at all.
That was murder. That was out and out murder. We need to get the youth involved. The youth have got to come out.
Thank you!
Hey, fire department!
They probably get what we're doing.
One person contains all the power and everybody's afraid to stop them, and we have to rise up. We have to do what we can. One person can change what's going on, but you have to do it in the voting booth.
Yes, keep in mind, a president does not have all the power. It's the will of the people that has more of it. Yeah, so
unfortunately he has it right now, but we can hopefully get him out. I'm hoping he doesn't prop up a puppet like one of his family members to run so that he can still be president, if he gives up the presidency at all. But then I'm sure there's going to be riots.
Yeah, so everybody out there that are living in their own states, vote wisely this year because
Read the issues, learn,
And start caring about others.
in 2026 we need to vote for the better congressperson in the district.
Absolutely.
Number one. Number two, we need to vote for like a new governor.
Yes.
That Governor Gavin Newsom is terming out this year.
Terming, yes.
Yeah, so we are facing two Republican candidates for governor, both of which like they are so incompetent anyway,
Well,
and especially
Chad Bianco is just a blight on Riverside County. He's cost us millions of dollars in lawsuits and doing so much stuff that's illegal that I cannot see how anyone in their right mind can vote for him.
does Chad Bianco even deserve like to make $600,000 a year while
No.
he solved criminal cases for 9.2% at the bottom of the barrel? Fuck no.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't solve them, and then they come back and sue, and they get millions of dollars from the county of Riverside. The jail system right there, when he was in charge of the jail system. Look how many millions of dollars we had to pay out.
And didn't lift a finger to help
Didn't do
him out.
anything. Yep.
And now I'm seeing like a bunch of douchebags who are trying to like impersonate him,
Yeah.
wearing their Chad Bianco merch
They
for
wanna
no
be-
reason.
Yeah, it's sad.
That doesn't-
It's a sad state of affairs. It's like when Trump's first term came into office, it was like everybody who was allowed to be racist could crawl up underneath their rocks.
It never
has
is.
nothing to do
It
with
never is.
politics. It has to do with the fact that what he was saying about the disabled, the colored, blacks, anybody of any other origins and women was okay, and they felt like they could say it too. It has nothing to do with what politics you are. It has to do with your moral compass, and you have to make empathy great again, and we're not.
Our version of great, not Donald Trump's great, because
No, America was already great. We didn't need to make it great again.
you can't.
We're
You
good.
can't copy Ronald Reagan's slogan. No.
or anything Ronald Reagan said. But that's a story for another day.
Yes. So I do appreciate your time.
Okay,
So
yeah, thank you.
My name's Jennifer.
Jennifer, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you've been to No Kings protests, even a BLM protest.
Yeah.
That dates way back.
Way back. Yeah, but that was probably about.
How did that reach out to you?
Well, way back. I grew up in New York, so yeah, I was kind of close, closer on the East Coast to see the effects of like the NYPD and the abuse that they've had.
I see.
So I grew up upstate. I wasn't necessarily in the city, but I was close enough to help out and speak up because they definitely had a abuse of power. I've seen racial discrimination, especially where I grew up. It was more of a white area. There wasn't too many people of color, so you definitely would see favoritism based on what So at one point, I just said, "That's enough. You want to go and say something."
In New York upstate, have you figured out that district might be red controlled by Republicans or like even established Democrats who probably don't even understand what the fuck's going on?
In New York, it definitely was more red. Where it was considered like upstate area was where I grew up. So yeah, it was definitely more red. But obviously, a lot of times we would still win the Democratic because the city is so large. I mean, a lot of times the overall would be the Democrat. But I would say, yeah, most of the time our congressman and our senator in the area was Republican.
I bid you welcome to Corona, California. However long you lived here.
I live in Moreno Valley, so I've been there for now like about 4 years.
In Moreno Valley, you now have a different district temporarily for 5 years.
Yeah.
So, do you have any idea who that congressperson is?
It's Mark Takano.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He used to be California 39, but now you're California.
I think it's still the 39.
It's still 39?
I think it's still 39.
Okay, so here in Corona, it used to be California 41, but now it's changed.
Oh, really?
If anybody else wants it, they can have it.
Oh, thank you.
All good.
I appreciate that. Yes, we know how to make ice melt
Yeah.
through warm water, or we chug pour like water to ICE agents or any kind of like dictator that we have dealt with. I guess you've seen the video that Jake Lang has got got like a pepper sprayed in his face.
He had to he had a colored person actually that took him out of the crowd. If he didn't have anybody, he would have probably got beat up, and who knows. There was another protester I've seen in a video where he was like bleeding his entire back of his head. That was a supporter of Trump. So yeah.
Just because January 6ers get pardoned doesn't mean you feel safer back in your hometown. You know what I mean?
No.
That don't really count, man.
No.
Now we face like two different Republican candidates who seem to think they can get ahead of like a couple of people, and especially like when they have all sorts of money. One, Stephen Hilton, who apparently is a Fox News piece, who probably doesn't have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Sheriff Chad Bianco, former Oath Keeper, probably thinks that he can make $600,000 a year to not solve any crimes that are 9.2% down to the bottom of the barrel. Those are the two that we can hopefully avoid voting for. But now, you may have a different candidate to vote for.
I'll be honest, I haven't been too good at keeping up in the smaller primary and like even like the smaller elections. I haven't been good about voting. So after, I don't know, I guess my interest has resparked just after everything that's been going on in Minneapolis. I'll start doing my research, but I haven't been good. I only voted in the presidential election a year ago, which I did not vote for Trump.
Okay.
But I haven't been keeping up with the smaller elections, which is just as important. So I will say I don't have any opinion yet. I need to do my research, but
that's okay.
I will start looking into more stuff.
Since we need to get ahead of before like the elections are here, like I'm sure like with enough time and with enough friends that may back you up with like the vision that we all Americans need to work on. It's on us to like to like actually shift the balance in our favor instead of like what Congress and Senate try to like influence us to vote for.
Obviously, the Congress controls the budget a lot, so I mean, and if there are more Republicans in it now than Democrats, so they're we hopefully can try to sway their opinion and not just listen to Trump, but if we can change how many Republicans are in Congress, that would benefit us too.
So far, two are out of Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. Congressman Doug LaMalfa from a different California district has passed away in '65. So that brings to a total of 2 seats up for grabs, potentially this year.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a Democratic congressman in.
Or like any sane candidate, doesn't matter what kind of party, to get a piece of the pie or any kind of piece in Congress, so that they have good enough influence for their own state as well as their district. So that's what we can hopefully look out for, and especially that. Shit! Oh gosh, that's a disruptor. So I've seen that same truck every single time. So we're gonna get our share of disruptors in protests.
Yeah.
So to me, that's not fucking strange.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're just driving by. Hopefully everything will remain peaceful.
Yeah, like, have we done anything to them? No. Maybe
we're
they're just
standing here doing, using our First Amendment right.
Do you think that Donald Trump and his administration is trying to take it away from us? No, it's not going to work. Especially even though that we're in technically a red district, it's going to be a toss-up for us. Ken Calvert and Young Kim, you probably don't know them.
No.
They have not helped the LA wildfires last year because they were at Mar-a-Lago to appease Donald Trump with the California Republican dinner that he was hosting. So they didn't bother to help assist Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass to assist in the LA wildfires, while Elon Musk is trying to like gaslight LA actual services to help out LA. I even surrounded myself with 4 LA fires at an event that I had no idea that this was occurring.
Really?
I was at a video game. I was at a video game convention. I was like, shit. What I can do to help, or actually ask those guys to help donate a portion to the victims of the wildfires. Little by little, we need to make a difference, one by one.
Yeah.
So this is what we can do.
Yeah.
As normal, everyday people.
Yeah, and then hopefully, some people change their viewpoints and then see that a lot of things that Trump has promised or even your local Congress people are promising, nothing's necessarily coming through.
The promises coming from Trump's mouth are so empty and broken, and then now, like in the second term, he only appeals to like the billionaires.
Yeah.
That's a very selective promise that he can make, and especially in the second term, now he's trying to like take resources from like on Earth.
Yeah, well, it's also not just that, but for me, I have another one on the back for the healthcare. 1.4 million people have gone uninsured this month. The American Affordable Care Act
It's apparently gone expensive.
It's gone. The one that was implemented by Obama is completely gone. They've gotten rid of it. Luckily, Congress didn't defund Medicare, Medicaid, because that's what they were also trying to do in November, but they didn't. They still kept most of the funding there, but come January 30th, they're going to start trying to defund more Medicare, Medicaid, and then there's already a ton of people who are going uninsured right now because they don't have any coverage because the Affordable Care Act is kaput. So, I mean, again, it's...
Anybody who is affected by this, please save a whole lot of money in case you need to get some care right away.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's honestly, if you're uninsured in America, it's like you're gonna go into debt. It's like you have it's just not, it's like impossible not to have insurance. So for them to not even subsidize any part of it, it's basically leaving people without health care. So it's a big issue that the Congress, they need to fix it, and because Trump's not gonna fix it, so Congress needs to put the money where it needs to go.
he may like to veto stuff that like he may not agree with Republicans who still appease to him.
Yeah.
Sometimes like Republicans are afraid to die for Trump in case like they want to betray, and especially like nothing affects them. I'm like, realize one thing, it also affects us normal everyday Americans. What are your cool opinions about Zahra Madani as New York mayor?
Honestly, I'm so happy he got approved. I mean, that was like the willpower of the younger generation. They're going out to vote. I'm just happy that there's somebody who's more, obviously for the people. I mean, he's already passed a housing bill, all this affordable housing to get made. And then another one is he approved child care.
Yes.
That's another big one that he just got approved, and he hasn't even been in office for less than a month. So I think he's going to do great things.
That is how a democratic socialist gets to work instead of like a moderate or a conservative or a communist or whatever kind of words that like jealous people that want to throw out for. If people pay attention to that kind of model, just imagine how many states, hopefully in the next 5 years, here in California at least, get to model that example from Zahra Madani. So
yeah, hopefully.
yes. Have you followed any local Instagram posts here?
I do some. I'm in the 2 rapid response groups for Riverside area.
Okay.
They're posting local sightings, or you could contact them. I'm terrible at remembering names. Do you want the names of the groups?
That's okay. I'll put the link in the description
Okay.
below on YouTube. So for those who want to check it out, you check it out on your own.
Yeah, so
And then
definitely, if that's the one way you could help your community, is getting involved with the rapid response groups to just notify people when ICE is in the area. It will definitely help protect your neighbors. I have a ton of people that I love, so I don't want to see my neighbors gone.
No, you're good. So if you feel you're broken and broke, but you do have the heart to help people out in your community, you might as well go to those links that we want to quietly describe to you. So I do appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Of course.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. I came out here to ignore a lunch date with someone, but I'd rather be here to hopefully make a difference in someone's life, to make sure that they are fully aware of the issues at hand here. This whistleblower represents the alarm and the warnings of what we need to watch out for every fellow Americans, to not have any unauthorized federal agents invading our everyday lives. Donald Trump Sr. has never been the better man, even though he birthed a narcissist or a dictator. And Roy Cohn, he never was even better either, even though it was a Democratic attorney for watching the best interest of Donald Trump, telling him what to do. And in the 1980s, 70s, 60s, however the era that you knew Donald Trump's history, he'll never achieve anything else because he's at the bottom of the barrel of approval. It's up to us, the American people, to shift the balance and the change to make sure that like everybody in your city, everybody in your temporary district here in California, and the rest of the people here on Earth, wherever you watch this video, has the power to change. You don't realize how much power you have until you ask how much power you personally have. You don't know how many friends that you're going to ask how much power you have to help out others, to restrain, but not to use power to control and make people submit to you. No, that's not what we want. Given the state of affairs currently, we must stay the course of like the upcoming elections in this year. We're gonna get ready to head on out, and I want to thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.